I started this goals check-in series last month, but what's going to make today's video and updating you on my goals that I've accomplished or not accomplished in February is we launched in February, and I'm going to be sharing some of the major launch details in whether or not we hit our launch goals. In the previous video about setting goals, I mentioned how I have this love-hate relationship with goals and I don't always check in on them. I set them, I do the New Year's thing, and then I just kind of let them lay to the side, and I don't make a conscious effort every single month to check in, reevaluate. And so this is exactly what these videos are. It's a way for me to hold myself accountable, but a way for me to share with you as well, like what I'm going through as a business owner, so you can see real life behind the scenes, because I'm not candy coating it for you. I'm not giving you the highlights reel. I'm sharing the real stuff that's happening in this online business world. So one of the first things that I like to do is check my metrics. Now, I'm not a huge numbers person or like follower vanity metric type thing, but I do want to track if my stuff is growing. So website, Instagram, YouTube, because I want to see if I'm reaching more people. Because the more eyeballs I get in front of, the more opportunity I have to convert them into my programs or to work with me one-on-one. So let me show you how I update that and let you see where my number's at for February. Now, I mentioned that one of my goals that I set at the beginning of February was to crush it at Marketer's Heart. And if you saw my video that I posted last week, I shared with you my experience speaking on stage for the first time since 2020. Now, in 2020, I had about four or five speaking engagements booked for that year. We all know what happened in 2020. And so this was a reminder of how much I love being on that stage. If you want to see how that went, see some of the clips from my presentation, watch that video I posted last week. So this is what I use inside of Asana. It is my big goals board, and you can see I have annual goals, quarterly goals, and then different things that I track each month. Again, I get so hesitate doing all of these things, but I've picked a few things that are really going to help me see if I'm making progress in the right direction. Otherwise, I just move on from project to project to project without evaluating what is and isn't working. So one of the first things that we look at right here, again, we're gonna move into Q1. Something that is brand new this time around that I didn't share in the last video is revenue metrics. Now, I get a lot of this information from my accountant every single month. So she sends me kind of a rundown of all of the things that I've made money on in my business. And I don't generally get that till about the 10th or the 11th of the month. So I've already gone in and calculated some of the major items that I sell to make sure the projection of revenue is in the right direction. So when we look at revenue metrics, you can see here in January that I have my prep system revenue. My prep is really just helping me grow my email list. It's giving you a taste of what it's like to work with me and building that email list. You can see in January, we also have my challenge, which in January, it made $2,100. VSA in January, which is reoccurring payment. So payment plans that had happened previous to our previous launch, and then our agency invoice as well, because we invoiced 2 brand new clients. So that gave us a total revenue of January at $39,000. Now in February, prep was a little bit less because we weren't pushing it as much. We were pushing the challenge, which you can see bumped up to $2,900. VSA, we ended up making cash in hand over $50,000 in February. Now, the rest of that 100K launch will be coming in throughout the next 6 to 12 months with payment plans. And so that was really awesome. And this is why it's so important to have multiple streams of income, because you can see our agency revenue went down. So we offboarded a few clients in January, and then we don't invoice our clients a second time. So you can see we invoiced 2 new clients here. We don't invoice them again until we have 4 of their videos up on YouTube. So that initially starts our second month. So that's why our agency revenue fluctuates, but because we had a launch, that helps us stay consistent. Because we add this all up, I didn't do the total revenue add, it gives us more than what we made in January. So that's one metric that I'm trying to definitely keep an eyeball on. Next up is our email list metrics. You can see our email list in January was more than our email list here going into March, but that's also because we sent out a lot of emails in February with the launch. And so we anticipate unsubscribes, and we love unsubscribes, because if you don't enjoy getting emails from us, then you're probably not going to enjoy working with us or working in one of our programs. So you can see that our email list did dip a bit, which is totally fine. Then we jump in here to our biz statistics. So website traffic was up 1%, which that's what Squarespace says. But if you see in January, it was 2,700 views. February, we had 2,500 views. Facebook group, we really did nothing to promote it or did anything with it in February, so I didn't expect it to grow. YouTube subscribers, we did grow about 750 new subscribers, but it was less of a growth than January, which again, my whole goal on my YouTube channel in February wasn't to grow it. It was to get people to my launch, to my sales page, to my challenge. And so that's affected my channel growth. And then my Instagram followers did grow over the past month. And I will tell you, my goal is to post 15 posts on Instagram for the month. And I missed that goal by 14. So I only had 14 posts on Instagram, like on the feed. I was doing stories. I think I did 2 lives. I did 2 reels. But again, I was really just focusing on my challenge and talking about the challenge and the launch as much as possible. I do have a new metric that I am going to be tracking more is podcast downloads. And I do have a podcast editor who sends me this data every single month. So I do have it for January. I just haven't pulled it yet because I'm waiting to get February's data. And I can make sure that my podcast, the Video Reframe podcast, is continuing to grow as well. Because I know not all my audience is here on YouTube. And I know even you that are listening here on YouTube, you may want to listen to podcasts as well, because what I share over on my podcast are more kind of vulnerable episodes and more detail on the emotional side. And I can just get a little more real over there than I do here on YouTube. So I will leave a link to that podcast below if you're interested in checking that out. Now, we went through all of my January goals in the last video, and these are all planned out at the beginning of the quarter. So I do a 90-day plan at the beginning of every single quarter, and I map these all out in advance because I don't have time to jump into this every single month. Like I said, I am recording this today on March 1st, and yesterday was the first day back in the office from challenge, launch, and Disney. So I don't have the time to figure these out. That's why I take 2 days at the end of every single quarter to plan this out. So you can see my February goal specifically was to get 100 new VSA students, which was our best goal, and we missed it by 10 with 90, and to have a Kick-Ass Marketer's Heart Conference, which I'd say did it. Now, if we look here at the February projects, I did host a video game plan challenge. We did roll out a high ticket coaching program with VSA called VSA Elite, and we had a few people jump into it. So I'm really excited to start working on my clients inside of this coaching program so I can check that out. And I have mapped out all VSA 3.0 content. I just haven't filmed it yet. So I have it all mapped out. I'm recording it every single week, and I'm really excited to be releasing this. Everybody's already eating up the very first part that I've already released. Now, when it comes to big wins, I won't take the time now to do this, but I will take the time to sit down and celebrate the things that I got done. To celebrate a 100K launch, to celebrate speaking on stage again, to celebrate getting able to take my family to Disney. I definitely am taking time to celebrate some wins. Now we can move into March planning. So my March goals, like I said, I've already had these mapped out at the beginning of the quarter. We are going to be re-releasing our prep system. So we're going to make some tweaks. We're going to be reaching out to some members who have prep to get some feedback from them, do a little bit of market research, and make this program even better. So that's what we're going to be focusing on this month in March. And also we may be opening a shop for those of you that are wanting to dip your toe into video, but you aren't ready to jump completely into VSA yet. And so we're hoping to generate about $5,000 in revenue when we drop that, hopefully at the end of this month. So keep an eye out. Then if we look at the March projects, they obviously tie in to those goals that I set for the month. So definitely updating prep, VSA delivery. So all this month, I'm getting brand new content in VSA 3.0 every single week. And then launching our shop, which technically my dear friend Mackenzie has built out for us back in November that we haven't done yet. And so that's definitely the only three projects that I'm working on. Because remember, I'm also doing client work. I'm also doing VSA clients. I'm also doing this content and podcasts and Instagram. And so I max it out at 3 projects. Now let's talk about launching. So in February, I launched my program, Video Strategy Academy, and the way we hyped up for that launch, instead of doing a webinar style launch, we did a challenge. So I did the video game plan challenge. I did this in September, and my idea was that I was just gonna take everything we used in September, copy, paste it for February, so that it wasn't a whole lot of work to get this launch up off the ground, because I knew I had marketer's heart in the week at Disney with my family. So I was trying to minimize the amount of work that I had to do with this launch. I underestimated the amount of work that it was gonna be for this launch. It was hard as hell. Launching is always hard, but for some reason I thought to myself, like, is this one's gonna be easy? I'm already using what I have. And while I did repurpose a lot of what I used in September, I still had a lot of work to do for this launch. I did use the exact same sales page from the previous launch, which is a huge time saver, because if you've ever tackled a sales page, not fun. I just made a few tweaks to it. We updated a couple of the modules or what's included, because we offered a brand new iteration. So we've gone from VSA 2.0 to VSA 3.0. And I had my friend Brittany Long, who is an amazing email person, review my emails. She just gave me some insight, some feedback, and that was fantastic, because we bumped our open rates on our emails by 10% on this launch from last launch. And we used basically the same emails. We just tweaked a few things, especially subject lines, which helped us increase our open rates on those emails. If you're interested in learning more about emails from Brittany, I will leave a link to her YouTube channel down below so you can learn everything you need to know about email marketing. So the way this launch worked is, like I said, I did a 5-day challenge to hype people up, to show them that it is possible to do YouTube, that you're probably overthinking. And so the whole goal of the challenge is to shift people's mindsets when it comes to YouTube. And it did amazing the last time we did this, and that's why we did it again. And I literally thought I would just use everything the same, just copy and paste it, but last minute, I decided I wanted to reshoot the videos because I'm a perfectionist and I needed to update the videos, because why not? So that took me some additional time, because that was 5 videos that I needed to shoot for day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and edit. Yes, I edited my own challenge videos. I did not do the typical live webinar. What I did do is I had our webinar on day 5 of the challenge, and then I did a live replay or a encore webinar live on my YouTube channel. That Tuesday the doors were open. In fact, on my podcast, the Video Reframe podcast, I go into a lot more detail on my launch, the feelings that I had, and more specific metrics. If you're interested in it, I will link to that episode down below. Make sure you're subscribed to that podcast as well, because that is where I'm able to get a little more real and raw with you when it comes to business building and confidence on video. So make sure you check me out over on the Video Reframe podcast too. Another reason we do the challenge is because it helps me negate ad spend. So our challenge was $10 this time around, and honestly, we're gonna rethink the way we are gonna do the paid challenge next time. I'm thinking about it, I'm processing. This launch is only like 2 weeks old, and so I'm still thinking about the way I wanna approach our next launch, but I definitely like the paid for option because I am not a gambler. So when it comes to spending money on Facebook ads and not really knowing exactly what you're gonna get, I'm very cautious. But what was amazing is we made back most of our ad spend through our challenge. So that allowed us to have great prizes in our challenge. So we gave away a camera, we gave away a microphone, we gave away an iPad. And so that's really fun to get people engaged with our challenge. Now, what was our launch goals? So our good goal was to literally hit the exact same enrollment that we had in our September launch, which was 64. Our better goal was 80 enrollments, and our best goal, like, I couldn't believe it if we did it, was 100 enrollees. And drum roll, we hit 90 enrollments. This is the largest launch that I have ever had. And when you take into the future payment plans and everything, which again, I talk more in detail in my podcast episode, that officially gets us to my first ever 6-figure launch. So in February, we had a challenge, we had my first 6-figure launch, and I spoke on stage at Disney. It was like a crazy month, right? Because when our doors closed on Friday, I was packing my family up on Saturday and we were heading to Disney at 6 a.m. on Sunday. It was a lot. my body did start to shut down. I got sick about Wednesday during the cart open, and it just went downhill from there. By the time we had reached Disney on Sunday, I had no voice, my ear was clogged, and I felt like trash. But I had to suck it up because I was a mom of a 5 and a 6-year-old who needed to see Disney. And so when I talk more about my launch, just understand it is a lot of work and it takes a lot out of you. And you have to make sure you're thinking about yourself and your health, and you're baking in that extra time on the back end of your launch to really recuperate. Because for me, unfortunately, there isn't time to rest because we immediately launched on February 28th. And unfortunately, I didn't bake that time in for myself because I thought Disney was going to be more relaxing than it was. But we started dropping the brand new VSA 3.0 content on February 28th. We're dropping the next module on March 7th, and every week for the next 6 weeks, we're dropping brand new modules in VSA 3.0, which I'm super stoked about, and I'm really excited to be going through this new content live with all the members inside of VSA. And while I am talking about health, one of my big health goals this year is to actually prioritize it. So I was doing really well throughout February, exercising and getting in my sauna bag, like I mentioned in last month's video. But when I got sick, I did not work out. It ended up being for about 2 weeks. Now, when it comes to March, what goals do you have? Because when I start to hear the type of goals you're setting and really what you want to accomplish, that helps me figure out what kind of content I can create for you to help you reach those goals. So I would love it if down in the comments of this video, you shared one of your big goals that you have for March. And if I've got some ideas on how to help you do it, I would be so happy to do a video for that. And then go ahead and check out one of these videos next. You can watch the video where I share behind the scenes of speaking on stage at Disney, or this is a really big one on my channel the past couple of weeks, why you should not be niching and what you should be doing instead. So maybe one of those sounds great to you. Check one of those videos out and I'll see you over there.